Here with me is longtime Buccaneers fan. He was the Buccaneers rep last year. This is Byron Taylor. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, taking time out of your schedule. I really appreciate it.
No, man, appreciate it. I'm happy to be back again this year. I was gonna, let somebody else do it, but when there was an empty space there next to the Bucs name, I'm like, all right, I got some shit to say about this damn team this year. So I'm gonna come back.
How long have you been a fan of your team, and how did you become a Buccaneers fan?
All right, so I'm gonna explain this again, like I do all the time. So for people who kind of know me, who know that I'm a Bucs fan, a lot of them think, oh, he's a Bucs fan because he hates the Saints. No, I'm a Bucs fan because I hate the 49ers. So my dad is a Niners fan. At one point in time in my life, I was a Cowboys fan when I was a young kid. And I will never forget the 95 NFC Championship game where Dallas was about to go for the three-peat and San Francisco beat them at Candlestick. And I never forgave that damn team. Y'all made Michael Irvin cry tears of cocaine and Emmitt Smith cry. So fast forward 2 years in old Tampa Stadium, the Bucs are playing the Niners with the brand new red and pewter. This is right before they opened Raymond James Stadium, and they proceeded to injure Jerry Rice and tears his ACL in the game. They knocked Steve Young out of the game with a concussion. And then the Bucs win with a game-winning field goal, and that was the beginning of it. Of course, Tony Dungy's there, the pewter power. And then in 98, cemented it all, was opening the Raymond James Stadium. And I'm 14 years old going, oh, my God, they have a pirate ship in the stadium. And it has cannons that shoot. This is my team. And it has been my team ever since.
Going back to your thoughts on what's the most memorable moment as a Buccaneers fan, I assume could it be the one ring with Chucky, or could it be the most recent ring where everybody's tossing the Lombardi trophy from boats?
Yo! Oh my God. Okay. So it was the first Super Bowl. It was the first Super Bowl. That was a great time in my life. I was 19. I was still young in my prime. I would have said Rondé Barber's pick six, but I actually didn't get to watch that part of the game live. So I would have said Derrick Brooks' interception in the first Super Bowl, but the second Super Bowl, and now I'm a father, and my daughter is 17 at this point, and to get to watch the game with my daughter and be at the house with my family, none of which nobody had a rooting invested interest in the game except for my daughter and me, and my nephew likes the Chiefs because he likes Patrick Mahomes, and to hear him real quiet. And to hear my mom going, why stop rooting? Stop yelling, son, because she's not enjoying the game because the Titans aren't in the Super Bowl. Because normally if it's her team, she's allowed to yell. But if it's my team, I'm yelling too loud. So the Super Bowl, the second Super Bowl with Mike Evans getting the chip, because I'm a big Mike Evans guy, much to my homeboy chagrin. And then to enjoy it with my daughter, and my daughter look at me and goes, well, I remember this Super Bowl, Dad. And I'll go, well, baby, you weren't alive for the first one. We won the Super Bowl in 2003. You were born in 2004. To which my daughter goes, oh, my bad. But the boat parade absolutely was the icing on the cake, man. That was wow. It was perfect. That was the perfect way to celebrate a Super Bowl for that team and for that city. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
I'm surprised as much as they were drinking, it did not fall. The trophy did not fall in the water.
Look, they was going to have to send Tampa PD or Hillsborough or Pinellas County to go dredge the Hillsborough River to get the to get the Lombardi out of the water. Because the funniest part of that was Brady clearly drunk off his ass with his boy like escorting your man's back out the club, out the club to the car. That part. But when he went to throw the trophy, you hear his daughter scream, "Dad, no!" When he throws the trophy before Cameron Braid catches it. Yo, it was amazing. It was amazing. Absolutely incredible.
What were the expectations coming into the season? I know Bruce Arians deciding to step back from the head coaching position, and Tom Brady leaving and retiring, and then deciding to pull a Brett Favre and come back very quickly. What were your expectations for this season?
let me first and foremost quote Jenkins and Jones podcast by saying, "Where's your family, bro? Tom, where's your family, dude?" My expectations initially were, okay, maybe we win the South, but obviously we're going to take a step back because Brady's leaving and Gronk's leaving. And then Tom decided to change his mind, and then I was like, okay, well, we'll win the NFC South with Tom back. I think we were 13-4 last year. I'm like, I can see us being like 10-11 win team. We'll win the South pretty easily. It's Ty's already got some head coaching experience. It's a much better team than when he coached the Jets. So, Leftwich is still there. Like, I can see, the everything kind of rolling kind of nicely going forward. I definitely was concerned about the offensive line because we lost Alex Kappa in free agency to Cincinnati. And then Ali Marpet retired out of nowhere. I don't think anybody expected Ali Marpet to retire. So I'm like, oh, damn, now we got to replace both of our guards. And then Ryan Jensen got hurt in the preseason. And then I was like, oh, that's not good. So you got a whole interior line that is different from last year protecting Tom. And yeah, I already knew we kind of had issues with the run game last year because it was real streaky because Lenny was real streaky and so was Ronald Jones. But man, I did not expect how this run game and this offense went this year. I definitely had much higher expectations for the team than what has transpired.
What was the point that made you feel like, okay, the Buccaneers are going to make the playoffs? What was the point where you're like, was it whooping it against Dallas, whooping Dallas on the season opener, or was it something else that made you feel?
Oh, no. So my expectation was we're going to make the playoffs. So the Dallas game reinforced it because I was like, oh, yeah, like they only put up 3 points and Dak got hurt in the game. Yeah. How many catches does CeeDee Lamb have? Like 2? Yeah. Carl Davis had that boy on lock. I love it. So the Dallas game definitely gave me, like, really hyped me up. And then the New Orleans game. So the New Orleans game is actually the first New Orleans game is the one that I was like, all right, I think we're good. We got over the hump for the Saints. Tom finally got the dub against New Orleans. I think we're good. I think we'll get over the hump this year. I think we got it.
What was the point that made you worried about the Buccaneers making the playoffs? Was it when all of a sudden Carolina started catching fire and made that game against Tampa for the division?
It was that Cleveland game. When we gave up that win, and truth be told, I had a date that day and I pushed the date to 3:00. And she was kind enough to be like, yeah, we can meet together. We can meet at 3:00. She's pretty cool. And so I drive to New Orleans. We're going to the art museum. So I drive to New Orleans. It's going for 3:00, thinking, all right, the game's in the bag. We win, right? Man, I pull up to the museum and the game's in overtime. The game goes to overtime. And I'm like, yo, what? We already lost to Pittsburgh. We lose to the Packers by what? 1 without Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. Carolina beats us. And then we just lost to the Browns. I don't know if this team good this year, guys. I don't know if this team good.
Who do you think the Buccaneers match up the best with in the NFC?
I think the Cowboys, actually. So what this is, I think, the third matchup with them in the last 2 years. So, and this is the second one in Tampa. So we played them week 1 last year at home in a shootout and won. This year we shut them down on defense and won. So we're back in Tampa again for the playoffs, and we've been playing a lot better on defense as of late. Like, we shut Carolina's run game down the other 2 weeks ago. Believe it or not, like, we had Cincinnati kind of where we were up, I think 17-3 at halftime on Cincinnati, had them shut down on lock on defense, and then had 5 straight possessions where we turned the ball over. We had that turnover on downs on that botched fake punt, and then 4 consecutive turnovers in our territory, and ended up losing the game because the defense just got tired and couldn't just keep stopping Cincinnati on short fields. So the defense has been playing a lot better. And I think just because of Dallas just kind of underwhelms when the lights are on. So I think we match up pretty well against the Cowboys. I ain't watched too much of the Giants to kind of get a feel for them. We do match up pretty good against not Carolina, Seattle. We beat them in the regular season this year also. But I like our match. I think I like our chances against Dallas.
Who's the team that scares you in the NFC bracket? Is it the Niners? Is it Philly? Is it Minnesota? I can't say that without a straight face.
Nope. If you watch Gridiron Heights, there's a funny little gag they did about Kirk Cousins where he said something about, I get a little tired when it's late. Talking about how he underperforms in big games. I don't trust Kirk Cousins. I don't trust him. I never will trust him. I don't care how good Gritty Man is. He still got Kirk Cousins as a quarterback throwing him the ball. I'm sorry. Don't trust him. I don't want to see the 49ers. Do not want to see the 49ers at all. We played Philly in the playoffs last year and beat them pretty soundly. Jalen Hurts is playing better this year than he did last year, but I don't necessarily know. If I had to say which team I would rather play, I would rather play the Eagles than the 49ers because y'all saw what the 49ers did to us this year already.
Looking at this season, what do you think has contributed to such a large drop-off from, as you mentioned, 13 wins a year ago to barely making it into the playoffs and winning the South?
1, Shaq Barrett's hurt. Shaq Barrett's done. 2, not having Ryan Jensen. All the changes on the offensive line certainly have played a big factor into that. I never thought I would say these 3 words. I miss Gronk. Never thought I would say those words, but Gronk's ability to win mismatches down the field as a tight end was very noticeably missing this year. Yeah, Chris Godwin coming back from the ACL tear, and it took him a while to kind of get his groove going. Mike Evans having the suspension against the Packers with the Marshawn Lattimore thing. And yes, there really actually is a restaurant in New Orleans that banned Mike Evans from going to their establishment. It is very delicious barbecue, I might add, but they said Mike can't come there. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not actually going to do this, but if he really wanted some Blue Oak, I live an hour from New Orleans. I live about 50 minutes from New Orleans. Mike Evans, if you ever listen to this and you want some Blue Oak barbecue next time y'all come to New Orleans, send me a DM on Twitter at Captain Ingenuity. I will drive it over there to you, to the team hotel. I will do that. I'm just saying. But it definitely was noticeable letting go and kind of walking away from Jordan Whitehead, especially from Ndamukong Suh. The defense has still been pretty solid, but man, I kind of miss having Suh being nasty in the middle there to stop that run game. It's just all those little small subtractions in the roster plus injuries, and Todd Bowles kind of suspect as a head coach. The funniest thing I seen earlier this year was another black fan of the Bucs being on Twitter being like, man, fuck diversity, man. I want BA back. Bring that white man back. When everything was going great the last 2 years, it was the last 2.5 years, it was all praises be to Todd Bowles on the defense for Byron Leftwich calling a great game when BA was head coach, right? Now that BA is gone and Todd Bowles is the head coach, it's, he's a terrible defensive coordinator. Byron Leftwich is a trash offensive coordinator. They need to both get fired. I'm like, oh my God. We're in the playoffs still, guys. In a blink of an eye, when Tom retires, in a blink of an eye, we could be 4-13 again. Do y'all really want to go through that again? Because I don't.
Looking at the Super Bowl prediction, who do you have coming out of the NFC? Who do you have coming out of the AFC? Who wins the Super Bowl? And what is the final score?
Ooh, okay. I do not have us coming out of the NFC. I don't. I think we'll beat Dallas. I think we'll get beat in the division round by either San Francisco or Philly. Ooh, 49ers or 49ers or Eagles. Well, you know what? We're going with the black quarterback agenda. So I'm going to take Jalen Hurts and the Eagles to win the NFC. Now, in the AFC, I think Buffalo actually going to win the AFC. I like, especially one, on the heels of the DeMar Hamlin situation, and I'm glad that he's doing better. I think, his recovery is going to put an extra battery in them guys' backs. And I also really got a lot of respect for Josh Allen and how he handled that whole situation about making sure people were kind to T. Higgins as well and not trying to place blame on T. Higgins or anything like that. I thought that was really classy on his part to do that. So I think Buffalo and Philly in the Super Bowl. And I think Buffalo finally gets over the Super Bowl hump. And I think they win, let's say 38-31.
Another shootout. That's how it always seems. Byron, I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to do this. Do you have any shout outs you want to give to anybody? And what are ways people can reach out to you on social media to talk Buccaneers football and then some?
Since my daughter is there, I would like to shout out the Pride of Mississippi and my beloved alma mater, the University of Southern Mississippi Golden Eagles, Southern Miss to the top. My baby's about to start their second semester in college, so got to shout out my alma mater, especially because we won a bowl game this year. I'm very proud of Southern Miss. We're 7-6 this year in Will Hall's first full year at Southern Miss, so I look forward to see what we do next year. Frank Gore's son is a dog, and I'm glad he just somehow, some way landed in Hattiesburg. Don't know how. It was beyond me. But so shout out to my alma mater, Southern Miss. Shout out to homies, my group chat, to Jeremy, Brandon, and Brian for putting up with my loudness and shenanigans throughout the football season. I look forward to talking more during basketball season because good Lord knows I got to listen to the three of them talk about how much they love having good basketball teams in New Orleans, Atlanta, and Memphis. And oh my God, look how good BA and BI and Zion and CJ McCollum are. Oh, look how amazing John Morant is. Or Brandon talking about, man, I kind of tired of Trae Young, but we winning, but I'm kind of tired of Trae Young. While I'm over here rooting for the Rockets being like, are we ever going to be good again? Ever? Maybe. Do I need to pick a new team? But yeah, shout out to the homies. That's about all shout outs I got this time around. I got a little bit fewer than I did last year.